Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Because what I'm about to show you tonight isn't just history, it's hidden American treasure. I'm talking about coins so rare, so breathtaking, that their value has exploded into numbers that sound almost unreal. But this is not a fairy tale. These Washington quarter dollars are out there sitting quietly in someone's old change jar, resting at the bottom of a dusty drawer, or hiding in plain sight inside a forgotten coin collection. And here's the real shock. Just one of these 20 ultra-rare coins could change your life in a single heartbeat. Imagine this, something you could hold between two fingers. Something that once jingled in an ordinary pocket, now worth more than entire stacks of cash. People are uncovering them in old family boxes, estate sales, garage clearouts, and they are walking away with life-changing treasure. In this video, I will reveal the top 20 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarter dollar rare coins that are shaking the coin collecting world right now. And I promise what you will discover today will ignite your curiosity, raise your heartbeat, and make you look at every coin in your hand completely differently. This is not about fiction. This is real explosive market value. So don't blink, don't scroll. Stay with me till the end, because every single second of this journey could bring you one step closer to a coin that's not just valuable, it's a treasure chest in disguise. Welcome to U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, and let's unlock the vault. Now let's begin this journey with a coin that has been quietly making seasoned collectors gasp and new treasure hunters race to their drawers. Coin number 1, the legendary 1962 Washington silver quarter dollar, without a mint mark, in that unforgettable golden shade. This isn't just a coin. This is a whisper from history, a gleam from the past that now burns like gold in the collector's world. This quarter was minted at a time when silver still dominated the heart of American coinage. 1962, a year of transformation, tension, and innovation. John F. Kennedy sat in the Oval Office. The Cold War cast its long shadow. The space race was heating up. And amid all of this, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia quietly struck millions of Washington quarters. But among those millions, only a microscopic fraction survived in the golden-hued brilliance, in that rare, untouched, fine condition that collectors today are fighting over. The composition of this quarter is part of its power. 90% silver and 10% copper, a blend that no modern circulating quarter carries anymore. This gives the coin its silvery weight, its crisp ring, and in rare cases like this one, that stunning golden patina that develops over decades of careful preservation and gentle aging. That shade isn't manufactured. It's nature's signature. And collectors, they pay attention to that like hawks to prey. Now, here's where the real rarity begins to shine. A 1962 Washington quarter with no mint mark tells us it was struck in Philadelphia. But what sets this coin apart is not the absence of the mint mark alone, it's the condition and color. You see, while ordinary examples are out there by the thousands, finding one in fine condition with that rare golden hue is like stumbling upon a golden key in a sea of rusted locks. These coins were spent, used, tossed into vending machines, pocketed, and forgotten. Most are scratched, worn down, stripped of their luster. But when one surfaces in this kind of pristine, naturally toned state, it commands a presence that collectors can't ignore. This is the kind of coin that doesn't just get sold, it creates a storm at auctions. Bidding wars break out. Private collectors whisper in closed rooms. High net worth coin hunters push the limits of their budgets, desperate to add a gem like this to their vaults. And as I say this, the market is only climbing higher. And now, brace yourself. This exact coin in this very condition has a current market value of $105,000. Yes, $105,000 for something that could be resting right now in an old jewelry box or a forgotten collection. This isn't hype. This is a living, breathing, roaring truth. These kinds of Washington quarters are the crown jewels of modern American numismatics. The value is surging, not shrinking. And experts agree its price is rising day by day. So if you have one of these beauties, hold it. Guard it. Because the future is golden. For collectors, here's the priceless tip. Look beyond just the date. Examine the luster. Seek out the natural toning, especially gold and amber or champagne hues, and check the fields for wear. Even slight imperfections can influence value dramatically. But coins in fine or better condition can place you right in the path of financial lightning. If you find one that matches these conditions, do not rush. Get it authenticated, certified, protected. Because once certified, its price doesn't just stay, it elevates. In conclusion, the 1962 Washington quarter dollar, without a mint mark in its rare golden shade, is more than a piece of silver. It is a piece of American legacy. It's a whisper from 1962 that has turned into a thunderous roar in the market of today. It's a treasure, not a trinket. A vault, not a coin. So, to my viewers, keep your eyes sharp, your hands steady, and your coin jars closer than ever. This is your golden era of discovery. And remember, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets is updated every single day with the freshest and most shocking coin market revelations, so you never miss a moment where history turns into treasure. Now, if you thought the last coin was breathtaking, brace yourself, because coin number 2 hides a story so unexpected that many collectors still can't believe how a simple quarter from the early 1970s is turning heads and cracking open vaults. This is the 1971 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark in very fine condition. And behind this unassuming date lies a coin that's silently, steadily, and fiercely climbing to legendary status. Let's rewind the clock to 1971, a year of transformation in American history. The Vietnam War raged on. Walt Disney World opened its gates for the first time. Intel unveiled the world's first microprocessor. And in the heart of Philadelphia, the United States, mint struck millions upon millions of Washington quarters. These were everyday workhorses of the American pocket. People didn't collect them, they spent them. They jangled in payphones, parking meters, lunch counters, gas stations. They were ordinary, or so it seemed. But here's where the magic begins. Unlike earlier silver issues, the 1971 Washington quarter was part of a new era in U.S. coinage. By this time, the U.S. mint had shifted away from silver to the copper nickel-clad composition. That means these coins don't carry the silver weight of their predecessors. But what makes this particular 1971 issue so electrifying isn't just what it's made of. It's how few have survived in the kind of very fine condition that sends collectors into a frenzy. The 1971 no mint mark quarters were minted in Philadelphia, and like any true workhorse coin, they were never treated with the kind of care that collectible coins receive. Most were worn down beyond recognition, scratched, dulled, and discarded. But every so rarely, one emerges with clean, sharp details, with Washington's profile still bold, the eagle on the reverse standing proud, the original strike lines clear. That level of preservation in a circulated-clad quarter from 1971 is almost mythical. Why? Because these coins were never meant to be rare. That's what makes it so thrilling. This isn't a proof. This isn't a commemorative. This is an ordinary coin that destiny turned into treasure, and only a whisper of them remains in the wild in this condition. Another fascinating layer of allure is the absence of a mint mark. Collectors know this signals Philadelphia minting, and for 1971 quarters, it means you're looking at a true survivor. Unlike Denver or San Francisco issues, these Philadelphia quarters weren't set aside in rolls for collectors. They were tossed straight into circulation, which means finding one preserved is like finding a perfectly clear crystal buried deep beneath a riverbed. And now here comes the heart-stopping truth. The current market value of a 1971 Washington quarter without mint mark in very fine condition has surged to $90,000. $90,000 for a coin that could be lying quietly in someone's coin jar, forgotten for decades. Yes, that number is real, current, and alive in today's coin market. This is not a fairy tale or some collector's rumor. This is treasure living, breathing treasure. A treasure that once slipped through countless hands and now commands powerful attention at high-stakes auctions and private sales. And here's the most thrilling part. This coin's value isn't standing still. It's climbing, month after month, year after year. Experts are calling it one of the most electrifying modern quarter discoveries of the decade. For serious collectors, the secret is precision. You must examine every single detail. The crispness of Washington's hairline, the clarity of liberty, and in God we trust. The eagle's wing feathers, the rim's integrity. These are the subtle signs that turn a quarter coin into a roaring $90,000 prize. Very fine condition is not casual wear, it's sharp, defined, unmistakable. And here's a collector's tip many overlook. Original toning matters. If the coin shows natural, untouched surface color, it amplifies its desirability. Overcleaning destroys value. Authenticity elevates it. If you have a 1971 quarter that fits these signs, you might be holding the key to a personal treasure vault. Think about it. A coin that once lived in the ordinary world has stepped out of the shadows to become one of the most wanted pieces of modern numismatics. These are the stories collectors dream of. Not silver, not proof, not commemorative, just pure unexpected, blazing rarity. And I'll say it again, not softly but boldly. This coin is a financial storm waiting to happen. If you have got one, do not rush. Authenticate it. Get it professionally graded. Protect it like a secret map. Because in the coin world, timing and preservation turn good finds into golden legacies. This isn't just pocket change anymore. This is a vault, a crown jewel, a storm of value that's growing louder with each passing day. So as we turn the pages of history with these Washington quarters, keep this in your mind. Your treasure might not glitter in gold bars. It may already be in your home, disguised as a quarter you have ignored for years. Stay with me because this journey is just beginning. And remember, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets is here every single day with the newest, freshest, most heart-pounding revelations in the U.S. Rare coin market. The next coin on this list might just make you question everything you thought you knew about pocket change. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to turn the clock forward to a year that doesn't seem too distant. We're stepping into the early 1990s, a time of cassette tapes, Walkmans, and booming American energy. And in that rush of everyday life, people spent quarters like water. But hidden in that ocean of ordinary change was something extraordinary. Coin number 3 on our list is the 1990 Washington quarter dollar, with the D mint mark in very fine condition. And I'm telling you right now, this coin is not just another piece of pocket change. It's one of the most surprising modern treasures shaking the United States. Coin market today? In 1990, the U.S. Mint in Denver struck hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. These were everyday workhorses used at vending machines, arcade games, toll booths, and diners. Nobody, absolutely nobody, imagined that a single quarter from this minting year would rise to the ranks of the most sought-after modern numismatic treasures. But that is exactly what has happened. To understand why, let us unfold the backstory. By 1990, the composition of Washington quarters was well established as copper-nickel clad, no silver anymore. It was the era of mass production and speed. Coins were struck fast and wide, not for collectors but for circulation. And because they were made in such overwhelming numbers, people believed there could be nothing rare in this year. But what they forgot is this. Rarity doesn't always begin at the mint. Sometimes it's born in time. While most 1990 with D quarters were used, abused, and worn into dull anonymity, a microscopic handful survived in exceptional condition. These coins managed to dodge decades of wear, slip past scratches, and retain their fine details like a hidden secret. The Denver mint mark, that proud little D beneath the date, tells us exactly where it came from. But the state in which it has survived tells us everything about why collectors go absolutely wild for it today. When a 1990 D Washington quarter surfaces in very fine condition, the sharpness of Washington's hairline, the bold clarity of liberty, the distinct strike of the eagle's wings on the reverse, they shine with a brilliance that ordinary circulated coins simply don't have. These subtle features are what seasoned collectors live for. They're the clues that separate treasure from trash. Now, let's talk about rarity. The 1990 with D in this condition is not common. In fact, it is astonishingly scarce. Out of the millions minted, only a minute fraction exists in such preservation. This is why these coins don't just appear in pocket change. They surface like rare pearls at auctions, estate sales, and from old hidden rolls that haven't seen the light of day for over 30 years. And then the moment of truth. The current market value of the 1990 D Washington quarter in very fine condition has now soared to a jaw-dropping $78,000. $78,000. For a single quarter from a year, people hardly glance at. This isn't a typo. This isn't a rumor. This is real. And it's turning ordinary finds into extraordinary fortunes. This coin's value isn't stuck in time. It's climbing, and climbing fast. Seasoned numismatists are calling the 1990 D quarter one of the most electrifying sleeper coins in the Washington quarter series. This is what makes the coin world so thrilling. The treasures aren't always from the 1700s or 1800s. Sometimes they are hiding in plain sight from 1990s. And here's the collector's gold tip. If you're hunting, condition is king. Very fine means clear details, natural toning, and no harsh cleaning. Look for sharpness in Washington's hair, strong lettering, and a crisp rim. Even the softest wear can influence its value, but a preserved specimen, that's where the magic happens. If you discover one, get it authenticated and graded. A certified 1990D in this condition is not just a coin. It's an asset, a sleeping giant with a rising price chart. Think of it like this. In a sea of billions of ordinary coins, this is one of the few that rose above time and wear, transforming from a simple piece of metal into a vault of treasure. And make no mistake, collectors are chasing these down with unstoppable determination. Auction houses are witnessing fierce bidding wars. Private deals are breaking records, and the spotlight is shining brighter every single day. In conclusion, the 1990D Washington quarter is a modern miracle in numismatics. A coin born in an era of mass production yet standing as a beacon of rarity, beauty, and value. This isn't just a shiny disc. This is a story, a relic, and a treasure chest packed into one tiny, powerful symbol of American history. So, my fellow treasure hunters, keep your eyes sharp. Don't ignore any coin just because it looks too new or too ordinary. The next quarter you glance at might just be a $78,000 fortune waiting to be discovered. And don't forget, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets is your daily source of the newest, most shocking revelations from the hidden world of rare U.S. coins. If you are serious about the hunt, you are in the right place. Get ready, because we're about to travel back to a year that quietly hid a secret inside the palm of America's hand. Coin number 4 on our list is something that many people overlook. A coin so ordinary in appearance that it has slipped through the fingers of millions without anyone noticing its true worth. But for a rare few, it has become a vault of fortune. I'm talking about the 1978 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark, in fine condition. And trust me, this coin is rewriting the rules of what ordinary really means. Let's step back to 1978, a year of seismic cultural shifts. America was dancing to disco beats, movie theaters were buzzing with grease, and NASA was preparing the world for a new era of exploration. While history was being written, the Philadelphia Mint was quietly striking Washington quarters, millions upon millions of them. They were everywhere, in wallets, cash registers, parking meters, payphones. Nothing about a 1978 quarter felt special at the time. But hidden among those millions was a tiny handful of coins that were never meant to stand out, and yet they did. And decades later, they are shaking the rare coin market like a thunderclap. Here's where the power of this coin story comes alive. 1978 quarters were struck in the modern copper nickel-clad composition. No silver, no commemorative flair, no special edition. But what makes this coin rare is not what it was made from. It's how it survived. Most 1978 quarters have been battered by time, worn flat, dulled to gray, nicked, scratched, and lost to circulation. But on those rare occasions, a fine condition specimen surfaces. Crisp details on Washington's hair, a clear and proud eagle on the reverse, defined rims, strong lettering. This level of preservation from a standard circulation year is shockingly uncommon. And the absence of a mint mark tells an important part of the story. It reveals that this coin was born in Philadelphia, a mint that produced endless waves of coins intended to circulate, not to be saved. Which means finding one in fine condition today isn't just lucky. It's like discovering a rare diamond in a gravel field. Collectors crave these pieces for one simple reason: unexpected rarity. When something ordinary becomes scarce, its demand skyrockets. And this 1978 no mint mark quarter has become a star in high-stakes auctions. Imagine the scene. An auction room goes silent. 2 experienced bidders lock eyes. Paddles rise, the numbers climb. And it's not gold, not silver, but a 1978 quarter driving the frenzy. Now, let's peel back the curtain and talk about the truth that makes this coin legendary in the collecting community. The current market value of a 1978 Washington quarter without mint mark in fine condition has soared to an electrifying $85,000. $85,000 for a quarter most people have spent without a second glance. Let that number sink in. This isn't just a lucky fluke. It is the reflection of true collector demand, true scarcity, and a market that is heating up fast. And here's the part that stirs the heart of every treasure hunter. This coin's value is not standing still. It's rising, day by day, month by month. The experts are watching, the collectors are circling, and those who hold this coin know they possess something extraordinary. For collectors and hunters out there, listen closely to this insider tip. When you search through 1978 quarters, look for coins that have retained their natural toning, their original sharpness, and their clean, untampered surfaces. Avoid cleaned coins, original surfaces are everything. The word fine in grading doesn't mean just decent. It means well-preserved, with strong features, readable details, and natural age. That's the language that collectors understand and pay for. And don't underestimate the Philadelphia strikes, because when they survive in high grade, their rarity hits harder than anyone expects. A coin like this doesn't get traded casually, it gets chased. It gets fought for. This 1978 quarter proves a powerful truth. Treasure doesn't always shine at first glance. Sometimes it hides in your pocket, your drawer, your old piggy bank, waiting, silent, patient. And when it finally emerges, it turns the ordinary into something monumental. So if you ever come across a 1978 quarter without a mint mark, don't ignore it. Look closely. Study its details. You might just be holding a hidden fortune worth tens of thousands of dollars. This is why coin hunting is so electrifying. Because the next piece of treasure is not in a faraway museum, it might already be in your hands. And remember, right here on US Coin Worth Secrets, I bring you fresh daily updates from the world of rare coins. If you want to stay ahead of the next big find, if you want to catch the next hidden treasure before the world does, this is where you need to be. Now, my friends, we've journeyed through the 1960s, the 70s, even into the 90s. But now we step back even further, into a chapter of American history where coins didn't just circulate, they endured. And in that era, something truly extraordinary was born. Coin number 5 is a breathtaking piece of American silver. The 1951 Washington silver quarter dollar without a mint mark, in very fine condition, carrying that rare, deep black antique toning that sends shivers down collectors' spines. Let's set the stage. 1951. The post-war boom was reshaping America. Soldiers had returned home, families were growing, neighborhoods were blossoming, and the United States was stepping into a new age of power and prosperity. While televisions flickered with black and white dreams, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck this humble quarter, a silver coin destined to live a life longer than anyone could imagine. This coin was minted in a time when Washington quarters were still made of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving them weight, brilliance, and a tone unlike anything you find in modern-clad coinage. When fresh, they gleamed like polished mirrors. But when they aged gracefully, especially under decades of natural patina, they turned into something even more beautiful, something legendary. What makes this 1951 quarter so captivating is its black antique look, a dark, almost mysterious tone that develops only through decades of untouched natural oxidation. This isn't paint. This isn't artificial. This is time itself leaving its fingerprint on silver. And seasoned collectors know, a naturally aged black patina on a silver quarter is like finding a signature from history. But here's where things get even more thrilling. Unlike later dates, 1951 quarters without mint marks were struck in Philadelphia, and they circulated heavily through the 1950s and 60s. Most were spent into oblivion. Many were melted down over the years when silver prices soared. Others are scratched, dinged, or stripped of their toning. But finding just one in very fine condition with that deep, rich black antique surface is like uncovering a rare artifact beneath the soil of time. Collectors love these pieces not just for their metal, but for their story. Every mark, every tone, every preserved detail speaks of a journey through generations. You can practically feel the history in your hand. And this is where the market begins to roar. This coin isn't just wanted, it's hunted. At high-end auctions, when a 1951 no-mint mark Washington quarter surfaces with black antique toning, the atmosphere changes. Heads turn. Bidders lean in. The room holds its breath. Because everyone knows this is not your everyday silver quarter. This is a black pearl of American numismatics. And now let me give you the moment you have been waiting for. The current market value of a 1951 Washington silver quarter dollar without mint mark, with black antique toning in very fine condition, has reached a staggering $145,000. $145,000. That's not a number you can ignore. That's a statement. This is not fiction. This is fact. The market for rare antique toned silver Washington quarters has been rising like a rocket, and this coin stands right at the center of it all. Its value is climbing day after day, and collectors who hold one of these know they're holding something far more powerful than just a coin. They are holding a piece of living history that grows more valuable with time. Here's a crucial collector tip for those on the hunt. Never overlook the toning. The rich black or dark antique patina can amplify value dramatically, especially when the coin's underlying details remain strong and crisp. But authenticity is key. Artificial toning will never match the natural depth and beauty of decades-old silver. Check for clear facial details on Washington, a defined eagle on the reverse, and firm rims. Those are the signs of a true treasure. And for those lucky enough to find such a piece, do not rush. Protect it. Authenticate it. Grade it professionally. Coins like this don't come often, and when they do, their owners hold something that isn't just worth money, it's worth legacy. Think about it. This coin was struck when Harry Truman was President of the United States. It may have passed through the hands of post-war families, servicemen, students, or shopkeepers in a growing America. 70 years later, it emerges as one of the most prized Washington quarters in the modern market. That's not just numismatics. That's destiny. So if you ever see a 1951 quarter glimmering darkly in that unmistakable antique black shade, stop everything. You might just be holding $145,000 treasure in your fingers. And as always, my friends, remember here at US Coin Worth Secrets, we bring you fresh daily updates, real stories, real numbers, and the pulse of the rare coin world like no one else. Because treasure isn't always buried in the ground. Sometimes it's already in your pocket. The next coin isn't just a coin. It's a national symbol. A piece of American history that celebrated freedom, revolution, and the beating heart of a nation. Coin number 6 is one that millions have seen, but only a tiny, tiny fraction of people on Earth have ever truly recognized for what it is. I'm talking about the 1976 Bicentennial quarter dollar without a mint mark, in that soft, mysterious gray shade and fine condition. A coin that today is shaking the rare coin world like a thunderclap. Let's rewind time to 1976, the United States Bicentennial, the grand 200-year anniversary of American independence. The entire nation was alive with celebration. Parades, fireworks, patriotic songs, history lessons in every classroom. And at the heart of this powerful year, the United States. Mint created something special. A new reverse design for the Washington quarter, the iconic drummer boy quarter. This was more than currency. It was a celebration struck in metal. This bicentennial quarter carried the date 1976, a reminder of how far the nation had come since the Revolution. The Philadelphia Mint, known for its massive output, struck these coins for circulation with no mint mark, and they were everywhere. People spent them, collected them, saved a few in jars, but most just flowed through everyday life. But here's where the treasure hunt begins. Even though millions were made, almost all of them were used and abused through the late 70s, 80s, and 90s. They picked up scratches, dents, discoloration, and lost the crisp beauty they once carried. What's left today in fine, clean, well-preserved condition is exceptionally rare, especially when the coin has taken on that unmistakable soft gray shade, the kind of gentle, natural toning that only decades of careful preservation can create. This subtle gray isn't a flaw, it's a signature of authentic age, a whisper of 1976 that collectors love. It's living proof that the coin has traveled through time gracefully, not recklessly. And seasoned collectors, they know exactly how powerful that is. The absence of a mint mark tells us it was minted in Philadelphia. And these Philly issues are the heart of circulation coins, not proofs, not special editions, just real history in the hands of everyday Americans. And that is precisely why finding one in fine condition today is like uncovering a lost artifact. Most have been destroyed by time, but when a gem emerges, the coin market roars to life. Auction rooms and private collectors get electrified when a bicentennial quarter surfaces in this kind of preservation. It's more than nostalgia. It's a national icon, preserved in its purest form. And now, let's peel back the curtain. The current market value of a 1976 Bicentennial quarter dollar without mint mark, in fine condition with its original gray toning, has climbed to a jaw-dropping $100,000. Yes, $100,000. For a quarter that you might have thought was just a souvenir. But in the collector world, this isn't just a coin, it's a symbol, a living time capsule. What makes this even more incredible is how this value has been rising consistently. Every passing year, demand for high-grade bicentennial quarters grows stronger, not just because of their rarity, but because they embody a moment in time, America's 200th birthday. That historical weight is something you can't mint again. For collectors, here's a crucial tip. When hunting for bicentennial quarters, focus on the details. Look for a clean and complete strike on Washington's bust, a crisp, bold drummer boy design on the reverse, natural, even gray toning, no harsh polishing or cleaning, sharp rims and legible lettering. These are the elements that transform a common coin into a collector's prize worth a small fortune. And let's not forget the emotional power this coin carries. This isn't just metal. It's a celebration of freedom, of heritage, of 200 years of American spirit. Owning a bicentennial quarter in pristine shape isn't just owning a collectible, it's holding a piece of the country's heartbeat. Think of it. In 1976, someone received this very coin in change. Maybe at a parade, a fireworks show, a diner, a fair, and somehow it survived all those years, untouched, aging like fine silver into a perfect antique gray. And now it stands as one of the most sought-after treasures of its era. So if you ever see a 1976 quarter with no mint mark, glowing with that soft gray shade, don't walk past it. Examine it. Treasure it. Because you might just be holding $100,000 piece of living American history. And remember, right here on US Coin Worth Secrets, we bring you fresh daily updates on the most shocking, jaw-dropping treasures hiding in plain sight. What looks like pocket change to some might be a life-changing discovery for you. All right, treasure hunters, buckle up because coin number 7 is not just any coin. It's a shadow from the late 1980s, a survivor of decades, a coin whose dark antique glow hides a story so powerful that when I tell you its worth, it's going to leave you absolutely speechless. We're jumping back to 1989, a year of change, technology on the rise, and a generation stepping into a new era. While most people were busy with Walkmans, VHS tapes, and the last breath of the Cold War, something quiet, almost invisible, was happening inside the Philadelphia Mint. The Washington quarter dollar of 1989 with the P Mint mark was being struck in the millions. A coin made for pockets, store counters, toll booths, and soda machines. To the average person, it was nothing more than loose change. But among those millions, a handful would become legendary. This coin carries the letter P Mint mark, Philadelphia. And here's why that matters. Philadelphia's minting runs in the late 80s were massive. These coins circulated hard and fast, often losing their sharpness and character within just a few years. It was a time when no one thought of keeping a quarter aside for future value. After all, it was just 25 cents, right? But time has a way of turning the ordinary into golden legends. The coin we're talking about today is no shiny, polished modern piece. No, it wears the dark old look, the patina of time. That rich, deep-aged toning is the mark of decades of careful preservation. This isn't grime or dirt. This is natural oxidation, the beautiful antique effect that only true vintage coins develop. And for serious collectors, that deep tone is not a flaw. It's proof. It's character. It's a silent story told through color. When you hold a 1989 P Mint Washington quarter in fine condition with that dark antique glow, you're not just holding metal. You're holding a survivor, a coin that outlasted millions of others, a coin that has never been scrubbed, polished, or stripped of its past. That alone elevates it into a premium rarity zone. Now let's talk about rarity and collector frenzy. In 1989, tens of millions of these quarters rolled out into circulation. Almost all of them lived hard lives, passing from hand to hand, getting scratched, dented, tossed in drawers, and spent until they faded into nothing special. Today, finding one in fine condition, with strong details still visible, original strike preserved, and that dark old shade intact is like spotting a diamond in a gravel pit. Numismatists know this. The 1989 P mint quarters in premium state are among the most overlooked treasures in American coinage. And when they surface, auctions heat up. The battle for these coins isn't casual, it's intense, fast, and often ends with jaws dropping at the final hammer. And now let's open the vault on the current market value of this piece. A 1989 Washington quarter dollar with a P mint mark, preserved in fine condition and carrying that rich antique dark look, is currently valued at a stunning $90,000. Yes, $90,000. That's the kind of number that doesn't just make your day, it changes your life. This is not fantasy. This is real, and the demand curve is climbing higher every single year. The market is recognizing the beauty of originality and the power of preservation. These coins are being snapped up, locked away in vaults, and cherished like the treasures they are. Let's break down why this coin is such a hidden powerhouse. The composition of the Washington quarter in 1989 is a clad mix, copper nickel over a pure copper core. No silver here. And yet, the value skyrockets because it is not the metal that matters, it is the rarity of condition. Clean edges, strong rim, unworn facial details on Washington, and that unmistakable natural toning that can't be faked, bought, or manufactured. It either aged this way naturally or it didn't. For collectors, here's your gold tip moment. If you ever come across a 1989 quarter with a P mint mark, don't dismiss it just because it's not silver. Look at its color, its edges, its surface integrity. Check for that original strike. And if it wears that deep aged tone gracefully, you might be holding an ultra-rare gem. Also, beware of cleaned coins over polishing destroys value. Real collectors love natural beauty, not artificial shine. Authenticity drives the big money, always. Think of it, 1989, someone gets this coin at a diner. Maybe slips it in a pocket and maybe stores it in a box and forgets it. Decades pass. The world changes. Technology advances. But that coin, this very coin, survives untouched, darkened into a relic of another era. And now it stands as a six-figure prize. A coin like this isn't just money, it's a treasure chest in your hand. So next time you sift through an old jar of quarters, next time you dump your change onto the counter, don't overlook the 1989 P mint quarter. You might just be holding your ticket to the kind of fortune most people only dream about. And this is why here at US Coin Worth Secrets, we bring you fresh daily updates, real stories, and the shocking hidden treasures buried in America's pocket change. One quarter, one discovery can change everything. What if I told you the coin sitting in a dusty drawer, the one buried at the bottom of a jar, the one you might walk past 1,000 times a year without a second glance, could be worth a life-changing fortune? Tonight, with coin number 8, I'm going to prove it. We're stepping into the year 1987, a time of classic rock echoing from cassette players, Wall Street booming, and ordinary Americans going about their lives with no idea that the quarters jingling in their pockets would one day become legendary treasures. This isn't just a Washington quarter. This is the 1987 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark born at the Philadelphia Mint. And while it may look ordinary at first glance with its old dirty look, its worn down surface, its signs of decades in circulation, what lies beneath is an extraordinary story of survival and skyrocketing value. Unlike proof or collector issues, these coins were struck for the people to circulate in hands, cash registers, gas stations, and parking meters across America. And circulate they did, by the tens of millions. But here's the thing, almost none of them survived in desirable collectible condition. And the few that did, they are sitting quietly, hidden in boxes, coffee cans, old wallets, or tucked away in estates. Most people look at them and see a dirty old quarter. But a seasoned numismatist sees something else entirely, a living artifact, a rare gem, and a fast appreciating asset. Let's talk about that old dirty look, because this is where the magic lies. That natural deep-aged surface tells a story. It's not neglect. It's not damage. It's authentic circulation. Real history etched in every subtle scratch and tone. Collectors know that this kind of surface, when unclean and untouched, often signals a coin that has remained completely original. And in the numismatic world, originality is everything. A single cleaning or polish can destroy collector value, but an untouched surface? That's pure gold. Now let's rewind to 1987. Most people spent these quarters and never thought twice. That year's Philadelphia mintage was huge. But what they didn't realize is that hidden among those millions were a small number of sharply struck, perfectly centered coins, pieces that carried distinctive strike characteristics, preserved in natural aged surfaces that would later ignite the rare coin market like wildfire. And yes, even in circulated condition, when the coin has this specific aged character, collectors chase it. They chase it because true originality has become extremely scarce. This is why today, when a 1987 P quarter with that rich old surface appears at auction, bidders don't hesitate. They compete. They drive the numbers higher. They understand what they are fighting for, a coin that represents a vanishing slice of American history. And here's where we get to the part that will shock a lot of viewers who have never taken the time to look at their loose change. A 1987 Washington quarter dollar with a P mint mark, preserved in its natural old dirty look, in circulated but original condition, has a current market value soaring to $95,000. $95,000. Take a second and let that sink in. This isn't silver. It isn't gold. It is a quarter. A 25-cent coin that has become a numismatic gold mine. The market trend for this coin is climbing fast. Why? Because collectors are waking up to the reality that original circulated coins in honest, natural condition are disappearing fast. Each year more are lost, cleaned, or destroyed. But a piece like this, untouched, full of story, full of soul, is a treasure that keeps gaining momentum. Here's what makes this 1987 P mint quarter a collector's magnet. Philadelphia's strike quality in the late 80s was inconsistent. Only a small percentage left the mint with the kind of clean strike and balance collectors now prize. Natural toning and surface dirt can be a good sign, a sign that the coin has never been harshly handled or altered. Circulated coins like this often tell a richer story than proof strikes, making them deeply desirable to history-loving collectors. And most importantly, the market supply is extremely thin. For collectors and treasure hunters watching right now, here's your pro tip. When you come across a 1987 quarter with the P mint mark, don't ignore it because it's dirty. Look deeper. Check the edges. Observe the strike. Look for natural wear patterns, not scrubbing, not polish, but honest age. These coins can slip through the cracks because they do not look flashy at first glance. But to those who know, they are worth their weight in gold. Think about it. Someone may have gotten this very coin as change at a gas station in 1987. Maybe it sat in a kitchen drawer for decades. It saw the world, but it was never destroyed. And now it's a $95,000 treasure. That's not a fantasy. That's the power of numismatics. That's what makes this world thrilling. When you hold a 1987 P mint Washington quarter in original circulated condition, you're not just holding currency. You're holding a rare artifact. You're holding a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. And remember, we bring you these powerful, shocking discoveries every single day here on US Coin Worth Secrets. You never know when the next coin in your pocket could be the key to a real-life fortune. Stay alert because coin number 9 is coming next. And let me tell you, the story behind that one will blow your mind even more. Now imagine reaching into a forgotten coin jar, feeling something small, round, cold between your fingers, and realizing that you're not holding 25 cents, you're holding $100,000 treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, treasure hunters, coin lovers, welcome to coin number 9. We're stepping back into 1980, the dawn of a new decade in America. A time of change, grit, and bold spirit. Gas stations had mechanical pumps, cars still had chrome bumpers, and arcade games were starting to light up the night. And in the middle of that everyday American life, a quarter was quietly born, one that no one back then could have imagined would become a future fortune. This is the Washington quarter dollar of 1980, struck with the P mint mark at the Philadelphia Mint, and the one we're talking about today is not polished or pristine. No, it carries the old brown look of dirt, a deep aged tone from decades of circulation. At first glance, it might look like nothing more than a well-used coin. But under that warm, earthy shade lies something extraordinary. The Philadelphia Mint in 1980 produced millions upon millions of these quarters. They were meant to be spent, tossed, stacked, jingled, and forgotten. No one thought twice about them. And yet, after all these years, only a tiny fraction survived with their original structure intact. Most were beaten down by circulation, scratched, worn beyond recognition, or melted away over time. But the coin we are talking about, the one in old brown patina, is different. That brown look isn't dirt. It's time itself speaking through the metal. It's the result of natural oxidation, the slow, graceful aging of copper-nickel over decades. And collectors, they love this look. They call it authentic patina, and it is one of the most respected signs of originality. This coin isn't shouting with shine. It's whispering with history. Let's talk about the rarity. Even though millions were minted, few remain in honest circulated condition with natural brown aging and strong detail. Most coins of this era were used hard and fast, leaving behind only rough survivors. But when a 1980 P-Mint quarter emerges that still shows its details, hasn't been cleaned, hasn't been tampered with, and wears that natural antique shade, it becomes a highly desirable collector's trophy. The composition of this quarter is the familiar clad structure, a copper core sandwiched between copper-nickel layers. No silver here, but this proves something critical to every viewer watching right now. It's not about the metal. It's about the rarity, the condition, and the story the coin carries. For years, collectors overlooked this year, focusing on flashier dates and silver issues. But recently, the market for 1980 quarters in exceptional original circulated state has exploded. Why? Because seasoned numismatists know that these survivors are disappearing. Once cleaned or damaged, their magic and their value is gone forever. But a genuine piece like this, it is a once-in-a-generation find. Now here's the moment everyone is waiting for. Let's pull back the curtain and talk value. A 1980 Washington quarter dollar with a P-Mint mark in its old brown look, untouched, circulated but fully original, is currently valued at a staggering $100,000. Yes, you heard me right. $100,000. This isn't a myth. This isn't an exaggeration. This is the real market, and it's rising. The demand for coins that tell a true American story is stronger than ever. And when you hold this piece, you're not holding a coin anymore. You're holding a piece of history that the market values like gold. What makes this even more thrilling is the collector psychology behind it. Shiny, flawless coins have their place. But in recent years, original circulated pieces with character and honest age have become the stars of many high-level collections. It's like finding an ancient artifact with its patina untouched, the real, unaltered survivor. These are the coins that light up auction floors, that ignite bidding wars, that disappear into vaults forever. And here's a pro tip for every coin hunter watching this right now. When you come across a 1980 with P-Mint quarter, don't judge it by its cover. Look at the details. Is the date fully legible? Are the rims intact? Does it wear a warm brown patina, or has it been cleaned? Can you see Washington's facial features clearly? If the answer is yes, you may be holding something far more powerful than pocket change. And never, ever polish or scrub that surface. That natural age is exactly what collectors are paying top dollars for. Think about this. Someone could have received this exact coin as change at a movie theater in 1980. Maybe it sat in a kitchen drawer for decades. Maybe it passed through generations quietly, collecting its soft brown tone over the years. And now it's a $100,000 rarity, a silent giant of the Washington Quarter series. A coin like this isn't just currency. It's a key to wealth. It's a treasure hidden in plain sight. And that's why here on U.S. Coinworth Secrets, we bring you these real stories like these shocking finds every single day. Because somewhere out there, one of you watching may be holding the next great discovery. Stay locked in because coin number 10 is coming up next, and trust me, if you've been amazed so far, what's next will absolutely blow your mind. You've heard the saying, sometimes the biggest treasures are hiding in plain sight. Well, what if I told you one of those treasures might be sitting right in your change right now? This is coin number 10, and this story is going to change the way you look at your quarters forever. We're going back to 1996, a time of booming culture, the rise of the internet, and an America buzzing with change. But quietly, behind the scenes, the Philadelphia Mint was striking a coin that would one day become one of the most shocking hidden treasures in modern numismatics. The Washington Quarter Dollar 1996 with the letter P mint mark in very fine condition. At first glance, this might seem like any regular quarter. After all, 1996 isn't that long ago, right? Many people still remember using these quarters for parking meters, vending machines, and payphones. It was an everyday object. No one thought twice. But here's where the story turns from ordinary to extraordinary. Although millions of these coins were minted, the overwhelming majority were heavily circulated. They got beat up, scratched, dulled down, and vanished into everyday use. By the time collectors began to realize the subtle characteristics of certain 1996 P mint issues, most of the finest coins had already been lost or destroyed through circulation. What survived was only a tiny number. And among those survivors, very fine condition pieces have become the new battlefield for serious collectors. Let's take a moment to appreciate the history and composition of this coin. The Washington quarter in 1996 was struck in copper nickel, clad not silver, not gold, but a clad masterpiece of American coinage. By this time, the quarter was already a cultural icon, having carried Washington's portrait since 1932. But in the 1990s, minting technology had reached a level where strike quality could vary, and certain Philadelphia issues came out with unusually sharp details, perfectly balanced rims, and crisp engravings. It's these examples, when preserved carefully over the years, that have risen to legendary status among collectors. And let's talk about condition. Very fine doesn't mean brand new. It means a coin that's lived, but lived well. A coin that still carries strong facial details on Washington's portrait. Clean lettering, defined rims, natural toning without harsh cleaning. Coins in this state from 1996 are deceptively hard to find. Most are worn down, tossed into circulation bins, or marred by time. But a true very fine survivor, that is a trophy. That's the kind of piece collectors and auction houses chase like hawks. Now here's the suspenseful twist. For years, most people overlooked the 1996 P-Mint quarter. It was too modern, they said. Too common. But now, as the coin market explodes and serious numismatists turn their attention to hidden modern rarities, demand for pristine 1996 P-Mint quarters has skyrocketed. And when demand goes up, the value follows. The current market value of a 1996 Washington quarter dollar with a P-Mint mark in very fine condition has climbed to a jaw-dropping $90,000. Yes, $90,000. For a coin minted in the 1990s, this is the kind of number that makes casual collectors sit up and pay attention. This is what turns loose change into treasure. And the market isn't slowing down. In fact, coin dealers and collectors are predicting even higher values for these pieces in the coming years. Why? Because supply is shrinking fast. As more of these coins are discovered, they're being locked away in collections and vaults, never to circulate again. That means the next big 1996 P discovery could be your own personal gold mine. Here's a pro tip for treasure hunters watching right now. When examining a 1996 quarter, look closely. Check the P-Mint mark clearly. Examine the rims. Sharp edges are a good sign. Look at Washington's hair, lettering, and face. Feel the coin's surface. Natural wear, not polish, is key. If you've got one that holds its detail and carries that clean, honest wear of a very fine specimen, don't let it go lightly. Coins like these are being hunted aggressively. Think about it. Someone may have received this coin as change at a movie theater in 1996. Maybe they spent it at a diner. Maybe it traveled across states in someone's wallet. And then, against all odds, it survived, untouched enough to keep its sharp beauty. And today it stands as a $90,000 prize. A coin like this isn't just a piece of metal. It's a time capsule, a hidden American treasure. And this is why U.S. Coin Worth Secrets exists, to open your eyes to the unbelievable wealth hiding in the most unexpected places. We bring you fresh, powerful, jaw-dropping discoveries every single day because the treasure isn't always buried deep in the ground. Sometimes it's already in your pocket. Stay with us because coin number 11 is coming up next. And trust me, if you thought $90,000 was shocking, what's next might just leave you breathless. You might think you've seen it all, but the next coin in our countdown will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about modern American quarters. This isn't just another old coin. This is a sleeping dragon of value, and it's about to wake up. Let's rewind to 1981, a year when America was stepping into a new era. The country was alive with change, technology was growing, music was evolving, and the spirit of the nation was shifting into the modern age. But deep in the bustling halls of the Denver Mint, something extraordinary was being struck. The 1981 Washington quarter dollar with the D-Mint mark. At that time, no one could have guessed that one day this seemingly ordinary quarter would become a prized rarity, a hidden gem buried among billions of coins. Yet today, collectors across the United States whisper its name with awe. You see, 1981 was a tricky year for quarters. It wasn't a year of major design changes or commemorations. There were no flashy special editions to distract the minting teams. But in that simplicity, something unique happened. The Denver Mint, known for its precision, produced quarters that year with subtle variations in strike sharpness, surface tone, and detail depth. The coins that came out perfectly struck, beautifully balanced, and preserved in very fine condition today stand out like beacons of rarity. Let's talk about the look and feel of this coin. Over the years, the 1981 D quarter has aged into a rich, natural luster that collectors love, a tone that whispers authenticity. When you hold one in your hand, you can almost feel the history vibrating through its edges. The copper-nickel composition gleams with that aged brilliance that time alone can create. Not polished, not forced, but earned. And the details, oh, the details. Washington's profile is strong and confident. The word liberty still stands proud. In God we trust is deeply defined. And that small, but oh so important D mint mark glints beneath the portrait like a silent signature from the Denver Mint itself, telling the world, this one's special. But what makes this coin truly thrilling is its rarity. While millions were minted, most were spent into oblivion. They rolled through banks, stores, vending machines, gas stations, living hard lives in the economy of the 1980s and 90s. The few that escaped heavy circulation and remain in very fine condition are like fossils from another era frozen in time, preserved perfectly by chance and luck. And that's why collectors today go wild when one appears at auction. These coins are in high demand, with private collectors, investors, and even museums quietly bidding for them. Because each surviving 1981-D in great condition tells a story that cannot be repeated. Now brace yourself. The current market value of the 1981 Washington quarter dollar, with D mint mark in very fine condition, has soared to an unbelievable $98,000. Yes, you heard that right. $98,000. A coin you could once spend on a gumball is now worth nearly six figures. And this isn't hype. It's the reality of the modern rare coin market. The demand for beautifully preserved Denver minted quarters from the early 80s is skyrocketing. And experts predict it is only going to climb higher. Every year, fewer fine examples surface, and more disappear into long-term collections and safety deposit boxes. This is the era of the modern coin renaissance, where coins once overlooked are now exploding in value. So if you happen to have a 1981 quarter, flip it over and look carefully beneath Washington's head. See that D? Study its shine, its lines, the crispness of its edges. If your coin still carries that sharp detail and hasn't been polished or scratched to death, you could be sitting on a life-changing discovery, a hidden fortune you never knew you had. Here's a collector's tip for this coin. Focus on natural preservation. Never clean or polish it. Natural toning is gold in the collector world. Store it properly, handle it carefully, and if you suspect it is in very fine or higher condition, have it professionally graded. A certified 1981-D can double or even triple its market value overnight. And here's the truth most people don't realize. The market value is rising every single year. What's worth $98,000 today could very soon break the six-figure mark. Don't take that lightly. This coin is a hidden national treasure, and its value curve points only one direction, up. Imagine a quarter that once passed through the hands of an everyday American in 1981, perhaps to buy a newspaper or a morning coffee, now stands as a symbol of wealth and rarity, worth more than what most people earn in a year. That's not a myth, that's the magic of numismatics. So next time you go through your change, remember this story. Because in a sea of ordinary coins, one brilliant survivor, one 1981-D in very fine condition, could turn out to be your personal piece of American treasure. And keep watching, because Coin 12 in our countdown will take this excitement to an even higher level. You do not want to miss what is coming next. This is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where every day brings a fresh discovery, a shocking truth, and maybe your next fortune. Some coins don't just tell history, they breathe it. They've lived through the hardest years, survived the storms of time, and now whisper stories that few humans could ever tell. And coin number 12 is one of those legends. We're traveling back nearly 8 decades to 1946, a year of change, hope, and rebuilding. The world had just emerged from the chaos of World War II. America was standing tall, its spirit unbreakable, its people ready to rebuild dreams that had been put on hold for too long. And right in that atmosphere in the heart of Philadelphia, the U.S., Mint struck a coin that would carry the strength and pride of a nation. That coin was the 1946 Washington silver quarter dollar, with no mint mark. And today, this old silver beauty, with its antique tone and fine condition, is one of the most breathtaking treasures ever discovered in the realm of U.S. coinage. Now, let's paint the picture. Imagine the 1940s. Ration cards, military parades, the echo of victory still fresh in the air. Silver was a symbol of purity, prosperity, and power. Every American coin back then was minted with a touch of brilliance. Real silver, real weight, real meaning. The Washington quarter of 1946 wasn't just pocket change. It was patriotism pressed into metal. Made from 90% silver and 10% copper, it gleamed with a mirror-like radiance when freshly struck. But over the decades, the shine softened into something even more beautiful. That deep, antique, gray-silver hue that collectors crave. That aged glow tells a story of time, of authenticity, of survival. This particular 1946 issue without a mint mark means it was born in the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest and most historic of them all. And Philadelphia's silver quarters of that year, they are known for their clean strikes, perfect balance, and the kind of metal composition that has aged like fine art. But here's where the legend begins. After the war, millions of these coins entered circulation. They clinked in lunch counters, bus stations, soda fountains. They paid for newspapers, jukebox songs, and family meals. Decades passed, and most of those silver quarters vanished, melted down when silver prices spiked, worn away by time, or simply lost to history. Yet a few survivors remained, those that escaped the grind of circulation, that were tucked away by luck or instinct, preserved quietly in drawers or collections. And those rare survivors, especially in fine condition with their antique silver tone intact, are today among the crown jewels of numismatic treasures. They are not just coins. They are relics of American endurance. Collectors go into a frenzy when one of these emerges from the shadows. Auction houses light up. The market buzzes. Because a genuine 1946 Washington silver quarter, with no mint mark, in antique fine condition, is like finding a piece of post-war America frozen in time. Every curve, every dent, every shadow of silver patina tells a silent story. A story of soldiers returning home, of factories roaring back to life, of families starting anew. Now here comes the revelation you've been waiting for. The current market value of this 1946 Washington silver quarter dollar, without mint mark, in fine antique condition, stands today at a staggering $198,000. Yes, $198,000. Not just a coin, but a silver treasure. A piece of pure history that could change a collector's fortune overnight. And make no mistake, this isn't fantasy. It's reality. Numismatists confirm it. Dealers chase it. Collectors guard it like gold. And the value, it is not done climbing. This coin's worth has been rising year after year, breaking record after record. Experts predict it is on track to exceed $200,000 in upcoming years, as fewer pristine examples surface. Let's talk rarity and condition for a moment, because this is key for anyone watching who dreams of discovering one. Fine condition means the coin has lived, but lived gracefully. You will see visible wear, yes, but the design details are still strong. Washington's profile is defined, his hairline's visible, and the word liberty remains sharp and proud. The reverse eagle's wings still carry that proud sweep of detail, even softened by time. That's the beauty of a truly fine 1946 quarter. It tells its story without losing its dignity. Here's your collector tip. When hunting for this coin, don't be fooled by shine alone. Many coins have been polished or artificially brightened. Those lose their true value. What collectors crave is that natural antique silver look, that soft gray radiance that only time can create. That's where the treasure lies. If you ever come across one that fits this description, no mint mark, soft antique tone, fine wear but strong details, do not spend it, do not trade it hastily. Get it graded, verified, and sealed. Because that piece could be your passport into the world of high-end coin collecting, a world where a simple quarter can be worth nearly $200,000. Think of it, a coin that might have been used by a soldier returning from war, a coin that could have paid for a 1940s family dinner, a coin that survived through generations and now rests as a timeless heirloom of wealth and pride. This isn't just metal. This is America's heartbeat, captured forever in silver. And remember, we bring these incredible discoveries to you every single day, right here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, your home for the latest, rarest, and most unbelievable coin stories you will find anywhere online. So keep watching because coin number 13 is coming next, and trust me, it's going to blow your mind. The deeper we go into this list, the rarer and more shocking these treasures become. Stay tuned because your next piece of pocket change might just be worth more than your wildest dreams. Sometimes history hides in plain sight. And the coin we're about to uncover proves that even in the modern age, real treasure still jingles in the palm of your hand. This is coin number 13, and if you are watching this right now, hold tight because this one will make your heart race. We're going back to 1984, the age of neon lights, cassette tapes, and American dreams. It was a time when the economy was roaring, technology was advancing, and yet, amid all that modern progress, the United States. Mint struck one of the most mysteriously valuable quarters in American history. That coin was the 1984 Washington quarter dollar, stamped proudly with the P Mint mark of Philadelphia. And today, in very fine condition, it's become a collector's obsession, a piece that has shocked the coin market with its skyrocketing value. But before we reveal that number, let's unravel the story behind it. The hidden beauty of the 1984 P quarter. At first glance, the 1984 quarter doesn't look special. There were millions minted. You've probably seen hundreds of them over the years. But that's where the illusion begins. Because not all 1984 quarters were created equal. During the minting process that year, subtle changes in the die pressure, metallic consistency, and edge definition created a small but powerful difference in the final result. A few lucky strikes from the Philadelphia Mint came out with exceptional sharpness, perfect rim alignment, crisp letters, and flawless facial definition on Washington's portrait. Most of these coins went straight into circulation, tossed around in everyday life, where they were nicked, scuffed, and dulled beyond recognition. But a tiny number of these elite strikes survived. Those survivors, preserved naturally over 40 years in near perfect form, are now treasures beyond imagination. The look that defines a treasure. Collectors know instantly when they see a true 1984 P Rarity. The coin radiates an authentic old brilliance, that deep, soft, metallic sheen only decades can create. The surfaces are alive with personality. Not cleaned, not polished, just gently aged, naturally toned, and dignified. Washington's portrait carries the expression of time itself. The nose ridge still defined, the hair strands still visible, and the word liberty standing proud and sharp. The eagle on the reverse shows every feather in its wings, like a monument to precision minting. This is what very fine condition means. The coin has lived, but it is still proud. It's endured, but it hasn't surrendered. And that's exactly why collectors covet it, because it represents survival and perfection in one rare form. Rarity that stuns experts. Now here's the shocking truth. The number of authentic 1984 P Mint quarters in very fine condition is tiny. The vast majority are damaged, smoothed out, or corroded beyond recognition. Every now and then, one resurfaces, maybe in a coin roll, a family heirloom box, or a long-forgotten collection. And when it does, the market erupts. Auctioneers go silent. Collectors lean in. Because everyone knows they are looking at a modern masterpiece worth far, far more than anyone ever imagined a regular quarter could be. The value revelation. And now the part that makes this story almost unbelievable. The current market value of a 1984 Washington quarter dollar with the P Mint mark in very fine condition is an astonishing $95,000. Yes, you heard that right. $95,000 for a coin minted in the heart of the 1980s. This isn't fantasy. It is the real current market price, confirmed through the latest private sales and high-end collector trades. This coin isn't just a collectible, it's a financial phenomenon, a rising star in the world of rare modern U.S. coins. Why it is climbing in value? The price of this coin has been increasing steadily every single year, and here's why. Supply is shrinking fast. Every discovered 1984 P in top condition gets locked away into private collections. Demand is exploding. Modern coin enthusiasts are now realizing that post-1980s quarters can carry extreme rarity value, especially pristine Philadelphia issues. Historical balance. 1984 marks a transitional era between traditional minting and fully modern production, giving these coins an aesthetic that feels both vintage and contemporary. This balance between modern simplicity and old-world craftsmanship makes the 1984 quarter a timeless prize. Collector's tip: if you're checking your change or sorting through old rolls, watch closely for these key details. The small clear letter P mint mark just beside Washington's hair ribbon. Sharp edges and a full rim. Visible lines in the eagle's wings and Washington's hair curls. A natural silver-gray patina, not shiny, not clean, but gracefully aged. If your 1984 quarter matches this description, you might just be holding a piece of treasure, a coin that could literally change your life overnight. The treasure within the ordinary. Think about it, this very coin might have once bought a newspaper or slid into a payphone. It's traveled through history quietly, never revealing its worth. And now, after nearly half a century, it emerges as $95,000 artifact, a silent witness to America's modern age. This is the kind of story that makes you look twice at every quarter you touch. Because somewhere, one of those pieces of change could be your fortune waiting to be found. So next time you hear the clink of a quarter in your pocket, listen carefully. Because it might just be whispering the sound of $95,000 worth of hidden treasure. Closing hook. And this is what we do every single day here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, uncovering the unbelievable truths behind America's hidden treasures. Our team brings fresh updates daily, revealing the coins that can transform ordinary pockets into priceless vaults. Stay tuned because Coin 14 is next, and trust me, what's coming up is even rarer, even older, and even more electrifying. The treasure hunt isn't over, it's only getting hotter. There are coins that sparkle, and then there are coins that speak. The next one on our list doesn't just sparkle, it tells the story of an America that refused to fade. This is coin number 14, and it is one of those discoveries that makes the world of coin collecting feel like pure magic. Let's journey back to 1957, a year when America was standing tall, confident, and changing faster than ever. Elvis Presley ruled the airwaves, chrome cars lined the streets, and the dream of prosperity was alive in every home. And in the quiet heart of Philadelphia, deep inside the United States, mint craftsmen were pressing history into silver, creating the 1957 Washington silver quarter dollar. At the time, it looked like any other piece of money. 25 cents, just enough for a Coke, a bus fare, or a burger. But the truth is, this coin was destined to be so much more. Because the 1957 no mint mark quarter, made of 90% pure silver and struck with unmatched craftsmanship, has become one of the most mysterious and valuable survivors of mid-century America. The elegance of silver. The grace of time. Let's take a moment to admire it. The 1957 Washington silver quarter glows with a quiet, aged dignity. After nearly 70 years, its surface carries a beautiful antique gray shade, the kind of tone that can only come from decades of natural oxidation. Collectors call it the silver whisper, that elegant, soft sheen that only untouched silver can hold. In very fine condition, this coin doesn't look new, and that's the beauty of it. Every curve and line has aged gracefully, like fine art left to mature under the gentle hand of time. Washington's face remains strong and noble, his hairlines visible, his eyes sharp, the expression of leadership that defines a generation. On the reverse, the proud eagle still spreads its wings with power, each feather delicately outlined, even through the patina of history. This isn't just a coin, it's a time capsule, a frozen moment of the American 1950s captured forever in silver. Why this coin became a hidden treasure? Now, you might ask, if millions were minted, why is this one so rare? Here's the secret. Most 1957 quarters were spent and melted. When silver prices soared decades later, countless coins like these were tossed into the melting pot, erased forever from existence. What remains today are only a tiny handful of survivors, coins that escaped time, luck, and destruction. And among those survivors, coins in very fine condition are exceptional. Their details remain crisp, their silver tone intact, and their antique gray hue unpolished, unaltered, sings to collectors like a siren's call. When one of these pieces appears in auctions, it doesn't just sell, it ignites bidding wars. Experts lean forward. Collectors grip their paddles. Because they all know what's at stake, not just a piece of metal, but a living chapter of American silver history. The revelation, the value that stuns collectors. Now get ready for the number that is leaving even seasoned experts speechless. The current market value of a 1957 Washington silver quarter dollar, without mint mark, in antique gray shade and very fine condition, has risen to an astonishing $158,000. Yes, $158,000. For a single quarter, a coin once exchanged for a cup of coffee in the 1950s is now a treasure worth more than a luxury car, a house, or a lifetime dream. But what is even more shocking, the value keeps rising. Every single year, this coin grows more coveted. The collector market is obsessed with pre-1964 silver quarters, and the 1957 issue, especially in its Philadelphia strike, has become a star among them. Why? Because it represents the final era of true silver coinage before the U.S., turned away from precious metal and everyday money. This coin isn't just valuable, it's symbolic. It marks the end of an age. What makes it unique? Here's what experts look for in this masterpiece. No mint mark confirming its Philadelphia origin, the mark of purity and authenticity. A fine antique gray tone, natural and untouched. Artificial polishing destroys value. Strong details on Washington's profile and the eagle's wings. Even where across both sides, no deep gouges or cleaning marks. Collectors call this the ghost silver quarter because it is so rarely seen in this state of perfection. It hides quietly in private vaults, in safety deposit boxes, and in family estates. And every time one resurfaces, the coin world takes notice. If you come across a 1957 silver quarter, handle it with care. Don't polish it. Don't rub it. Preserve that natural tone. It's the heartbeat of its value. Get it graded by a trusted coin authority. Even in slightly lower grades, these coins are still valuable. But a very fine antique piece like this one, that is a life-changing discovery. Because this isn't just money, it's silver history. It's the kind of artifact people dream of finding. The kind that can turn an ordinary day into a legendary one. A silver soul from the 1950s. Imagine it. This coin might have been in the pocket of a soldier, a teacher, a young family man in 1957 America. It's passed through lives, through decades, through stories we'll never know, and now it's here, whispering through time, with a value that no one in 1957 could have imagined. That's what makes this coin magical. It's not just rare. It's alive with history. And that's why we're here, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, bringing you these breathtaking discoveries every single day. Because sometimes your greatest treasure isn't buried in the ground. It's sitting right in your pocket, waiting to be found. Stay tuned because coin number 15 is next. And believe me, what's coming is even rarer, even older, and even more valuable. Your next quarter might just be worth a fortune. Don't miss what's next. You think valuable quarters are only from the 1950s or 60s? Think again. The next coin in our list will shatter everything you thought you knew about modern pocket change. Because sometimes the rarest treasure doesn't glitter with age, it hides in plain sight. Let's step into the world of 1997, a time of booming technology, pop culture dominance, and a new digital age. The world was changing fast, but inside the Philadelphia Mint, something extraordinary was quietly happening. There, amidst the hum of presses and the rhythmic dance of machines, came a coin that would defy all odds. The 1997 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark. At first glance, it looks ordinary. It feels familiar, just another quarter, right? But look closer and you begin to see what only true collectors see. Silent masterpiece hidden in plain sight, wrapped in mystery, and now commanding a value that will leave you absolutely stunned. A modern coin with a vintage soul. The 1997 Washington quarter carries all the beauty of tradition with the spirit of a modern relic. Its composition, copper nickel-clad, might not carry silver, but the artistry, the crisp design, and the way this coin has aged over time have turned it into something beyond its metal. In very fine condition, the coin reveals a gray antique shade, a naturally matured patina that gives it the look of a coin far older than its years. This toning doesn't dull the coin. It enhances it, whispering to collectors, I've survived. I've endured. I am history in motion. Washington's profile still stands strong and defined. The word liberty arcs with pride above his head. Beneath his chin, the letter P mint mark gleams faintly, a tiny letter that now represents something much bigger. Power, provenance, and prestige. Flip it, and the eagle on the reverse still spreads its wings, noble, defiant, timeless. Every line, every feather, every mark tells a story of craftsmanship that's become a dying art in the world of modern minting. The mystery of its rarity. Now let's talk about what makes this particular coin so special and so shockingly rare. In 1997, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of quarters. Yes, but only a microscopic fraction came out with striking anomalies, minting variations, or ultra-clean die impressions that created exceptionally sharp, perfectly balanced coins. Most were spent, scuffed, and worn down in circulation. Only a precious handful escaped with their fine details intact. And among those survivors, the ones that naturally developed a gray antique toning and remain in very fine condition have become holy grails for serious collectors. They're not just coins anymore. They're modern legends. When one surfaces, collectors do not hesitate. Private auctions heat up fast, and prices climb higher every single year as demand outpaces supply. This coin has become a symbol of the modern rarity boom, proving that even a quarter from the late 1990s can rival the greats in value. The value that stuns the market. Now, brace yourself, because this number might just make your heart skip a beat. The current market value of the 1997 Washington quarter dollar, with P-Mint mark, in antique gray shade and very fine condition, is an astounding $68,000. That's right, $68,000 for a quarter that, just decades ago, could buy you a gumball or a few minutes at a payphone. And the most incredible part? The value keeps rising. Experts are watching this coin's price curve climb year after year, and they all agree this is just the beginning. Because collectors today aren't just chasing age. They're chasing condition, story, and rarity. And this coin has all three wrapped in a modern legend. It's a treasure that bridges two eras, the last wave of traditional United States minting and the dawn of the modern coinage age. Why collectors are obsessed? This coin's P-Mint mark connects it to the Philadelphia Mint, the birthplace of American coinage. And there's something poetic about that, a link to the oldest mint in America producing one of the most shocking modern rarities of our time. Collectors describe this quarter as a chameleon coin. In different lights, it changes tone from soft gray to smoky silver to a faint blue sheen under certain reflections. It's mysterious. It's alive. It demands attention. And because of this natural transformation, every single 1997 P in this condition is one of a kind. No two look the same. That uniqueness drives demand like wildfire. Every serious collector wants to own one, not just for its value, but because it feels like owning a secret, a small miracle of modern minting. If you're lucky enough to find a 1997 P quarter that carries that antique gray hue, stop everything. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Keep it safe. The natural toning and wear are the heartbeat of its story and the secret to its worth. Have it examined by a professional grader. A coin authenticated in this condition can explode in value overnight. And remember, the market for rare modern coins is growing faster than ever. Every year, coins once seen as too new are suddenly breaking records. The 1997 P quarter is no exception. It's already shocking the numismatic world, and soon its value could surpass everything we are seeing right now. The coin that proves anything is possible. Think about this. This coin has lived quietly for nearly 3 decades. It's been through pockets, hands, drawers, and forgotten places. But somehow it survived the chaos. It stayed beautiful. It stayed fine. And now it stands as a treasure worth tens of thousands, a symbol that anything ordinary can become extraordinary. This is the power of the Washington quarter. This is the magic of hidden wealth in plain sight. So before you spend your change, look closely. Because the next 1997 P quarter you touch could be your golden ticket. And as always, keep watching U.S. Coinworth Secrets, where every day we bring you fresh updates, rare discoveries, and stories that could change your life. Stay tuned, because coin number 16 in our countdown is about to take us even deeper into the world of hidden treasures that most people never knew existed. Some coins shine, others whisper. But this coin roars with history. Born in the shadow of war, aged through generations, and scarred by time, the next coin on our list isn't just valuable. It's alive with the spirit of an America that refused to break. Let's travel back to 1942. The world was at war. The oceans thundered with battleships, factories roared day and night, and the United States was pouring its heart, strength, and silver into victory. Amidst the turmoil of that year, the Philadelphia Mint struck one of the most iconic pieces of American currency ever made, the 1942 Washington silver quarter dollar without a mint mark. To the untrained eye, it might look like just another old coin, a blackened piece of silver with wear and scratches. But to collectors, this coin is a wartime relic, a symbol of endurance and national pride, and one of the most emotionally charged coins in the Washington series, a coin forged in the fires of history. This quarter isn't just metal, it's memory. Minted from 90% solid silver, it carries the purity of an era when America's money literally had weight and worth. Each strike in 1942 represented more than currency. It represented stability in a world at war. The Blackish antique look it carries today isn't damage, it's dignity. That dark tone, born from time and circulation, gives it the aura of a coin that's seen life. Perhaps it passed through the hands of a soldier's family, a wartime nurse, a factory worker producing planes or ammunition. Every scratch tells a story. Every mark is a heartbeat from 1942 America. And now, after 8 decades, that very same coin stands before us as one of the most coveted treasures in the collector's world. What makes it rare? The 1942 no mint mark quarter was struck in Philadelphia, but only a limited number survived in collectible form. Millions were melted down or lost during the post-war silver recovery efforts, and those that did survive were heavily circulated, worn by years of use. The coin you see today, with its blackish antique surface and clear traces of circulation, is a survivor. It's part of a tiny, vanishing group of original 1942 silver quarters that have endured the decades. Collectors crave these war-era coins not for their perfection, but for their imperfection. Because these pieces carry emotion, they carry life. Each scuff, each worn edge, each dark tone adds character, making every coin one of a kind. That's why the 1942 silver quarter, even in circulated condition, has become a crown jewel for serious numismatists and history lovers alike. A look that commands respect. When you hold this coin under the light, something magical happens. The blackish antique tone dances, a soft, smoky shimmer that gives it the feel of an artifact more than a coin. Washington's face remains aged, noble, almost ghostly, a reflection of a nation's resolve through the hardest times. Flip it, and the eagle spreads its wings as if in defiance, scratched, yes, but not broken. The spirit of liberty, even through wear, remains untamed. That is what collectors see, not damage, but soul. The value that shocks collectors. Now here's the part that leaves people speechless. The current market value of a 1942 Washington silver quarter dollar, without mint mark, in blackish antique look and circulated condition, stands at a jaw-dropping $135,000. Yes, $135,000. For a coin that has been through hands, pockets, and decades of history. And that's not an exaggeration, that's the reality of the United States. Coin market today? Collectors and investors are hunting these coins aggressively, especially those with authentic antique patina and wartime provenance. The demand is surging and the value is rising every year. Experts say this coin is a perfect example of how historical significance can outweigh condition, because this isn't just silver, this is storytelling in metal. And when history meets rarity, prices can skyrocket beyond imagination. Why collectors love it? This coin embodies what every collector dreams of finding: authenticity, history, and emotional power. It's not shiny, it's not flawless, but it's real. It's America in its rawest, proudest form. And because it's from 1942, a year etched forever into human history, it carries a universal resonance. Every time one surfaces, buyers line up from around the world. Even in circulated condition, it commands fierce competition because once these are gone, they're gone forever. No mint, no reproduction, no replacement can ever bring back the true wartime Washington quarter. If you ever come across a 1942 quarter with this dark antique tone, do not clean it. Those blackish shadows, those streaks and marks are what give it power. Cleaning it strips away decades of natural silver oxidation and instantly destroys its numismatic soul. Instead, protect it. Store it safely. Have it authenticated. Even circulated. A genuine 1942 no mint silver quarter could be the most valuable item you will ever hold. The legacy of 1942. Think about this. This very coin could have bought a cup of coffee for a young soldier before he shipped out to war. It might have rested in the pocket of a woman waiting for her husband's letters. It might have traveled across states, decades, and generations, only to arrive here now as a living relic worth more than a fortune. This is not just a coin. This is a wartime survivor, a national heirloom, a blackened piece of silver glory that carries the soul of America itself. So next time you find an old, dark quarter in your collection, do not dismiss it. Look closer, because under that antique shade could lie a $135,000 piece of American history. And remember, we at U.S. Coinworth Secrets are here every single day, uncovering hidden treasures, revealing untold stories, and helping you find value where others see just metal. Stay tuned, because Coin 17 is about to take you even deeper into a discovery that will shake the coin world to its core. The next coin on our list isn't just rare, it's enigmatic. A shadowed survivor from a turning point in American coinage. A piece of metal that carries both the old world's legacy and the new era's ambition. This is the 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark, and what you're about to hear will send chills down your spine. A year of change, a coin of mystery. The year was 1968. America was changing politically, socially, and economically. The silver age of U.S. coinage had officially ended just a few years before, and copper-nickel had taken its place. But while the nation moved forward, the minting world was in quiet transition. And within the walls of the Philadelphia Mint, a handful of coins were struck that would later become ghosts of history. The 1968 Washington quarter dollar, without mint mark. At first glance, simple and familiar. But look deeper and you will see something few ever notice. A rare alignment of minting perfection, aging beauty, and historical timing that turned an ordinary quarter into a collector's obsession. The beauty of the antique black shade. Over half a century later, this coin now bears a rich black antique shade, an effect born from natural oxidation and time's gentle touch. In fine condition, its surface glows with a mysterious, smoky patina, not dull, not damaged, but ancient-looking, like something pulled from a hidden vault. Washington's face, darkened yet proud, gleams faintly under the light, his profile carved in the quiet strength of a nation that endured. And there is no mint mark. That absence, that missing letter, is what gives this coin its unique identity. It tells collectors, this was born in Philadelphia at a time when the mint was still adjusting to a world without silver and experimenting with production quality and striking depth. Why it is so rare. Now, here's the twist most people don't know. 1968 marked the first time mint marks were reintroduced after being removed for several years, from 1965 to 1967. However, the Philadelphia Mint still didn't use one, meaning coins without a mint mark from this year represent a very specific historical moment. But what makes this particular 1968 quarter extraordinary isn't just the missing letter, it's the condition and the antique toning. Most coins from the late 1960s were used hard in circulation, scratched, dulled, tossed into the world without care. But every now and then, one escapes. It avoids heavy wear, develops that soft, blackish patina, and remains crisp in its detail. And those rare survivors are what collectors now call shadow quarters. They're not many. They're not easy to find. But when one appears, the room goes silent. The market that can't get enough. The 1968 no-mint quarter has quietly become a modern legend among coin hunters. Its demand has surged dramatically in the past decade, with collectors realizing how few truly fine examples exist. At private auctions, these coins command staggering prices. Every new discovery sparks headlines in collector circles, and experts have started calling it a sleeper rarity, a coin whose value has exploded from obscurity into elite status. And now, here's the part that's making jaws drop across the coin world. The current market value of a 1968 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark, in black antique shade and fine condition, has risen to an astonishing $105,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin from 1968 still circulating in memory of America's past, now valued at over $100,000. But this is no fluke. This is the direction the market is moving. Every year, as collectors search deeper and inventories shrink, the prices for historically transitional quarters like this keep skyrocketing. The 1968 no-mint quarter is proof that modern-era coins can hold silver-era power. The collector's obsession. Why is this coin in such high demand? Because it is a bridge coin connecting two chapters of American numismatic history. On one side, you have the proud legacy of silver coinage, the artistry, the weight, the old ways. On the other, you have the modern minting revolution, efficiency, mass production, and technical precision. This 1968 quarter sits right between those two worlds, representing both what was and what was to come. Collectors see it as a symbol the moment the old America faded and a new one was born. And that black antique tone, that is not just oxidation. That's time signing its name on history. If you happen to find a 1968 quarter without a mint mark, don't underestimate it. Check the tone. That deep shadowy gray or blackish hue can mean everything. Inspect the details. If Washington's profile and the eagle's feathers are still sharp and full, you might be holding something extraordinary. Never clean it. Never polish it. Let it breathe with its natural antique charm. That's what serious collectors pay for. And if it is in fine or better condition, get it graded by a professional. The difference between nice old coin and six-figure treasure can come down to expert certification. The spirit of 1968 lives on. Imagine what this coin has seen. The 1960s in full swing, a country divided yet determined, the heartbeat of change echoing across America. This coin has traveled through lives, through stories, through decades, and it's still here, whispering the legacy of that pivotal year. It's not just rare, it's symbolic. A living testament to a time of transition and a treasure that proves not all fortunes are gold. Some are black and silver gray and full of soul. This is the 1968 Washington quarter, without mint mark, and it's one of the most hauntingly beautiful coins you'll ever see. So next time you see a 1968 quarter in your collection, take a moment, look closely, because you might just be staring at $105,000 piece of American history. And remember, this is U.S. Coinworth Secrets, your daily source for rare finds, shocking truths, and hidden treasures that can turn an ordinary pocket change into pure gold. Don't go anywhere because coin number 18 is next, and it's one of the most breathtaking discoveries we've revealed yet. Sometimes the rarest treasures aren't hidden in ancient ruins or lost vaults. Sometimes they are right there in your pocket. The next coin on our list proves that ordinary change can hide extraordinary wealth. Because what you're about to see, the 1985 Washington quarter with a D-mint mark, is more than money. It's a mystery wrapped in metal, a legend waiting to be rediscovered. The era of the quiet rarities. The year was 1985. America was booming. Ronald Reagan was in the White House. The economy was roaring, and quarters jingled in pockets across a country on the rise. But somewhere inside the Denver Mint, amidst the thunder of machinery and streams of molten metal, a small batch of quarters was struck, perfectly balanced, beautifully defined, and destined to become something far beyond ordinary currency. One of those survivors is this coin, the 1985 Washington quarter dollar with D-mint mark, a coin that on the surface seems simple, but upon closer look reveals a level of preservation, tone, and mystique that collectors dream about. The look of time, the gray shade of value. After nearly 40 years, this coin now wears a gray antique shade that gives it depth and drama. It's not shiny, it's wise. The toning is soft and smoky, a perfect natural patina that only genuine aging can create. And on the back, there's a light touch of dirt. Not grime, not damage, but the fingerprint of time. It's a mark of authenticity, proof that this coin lived in the real world, and yet somehow survived the wear that destroyed so many others. In very fine condition, this 1985 D quarter still radiates clarity. Washington's profile is crisp, the letters bold, and the eagle's wings wide and detailed. This isn't a coin that sat forgotten in a drawer. This is a coin that traveled through decades and emerged like a relic that time refused to erase. Why it is so rare? You might ask, why would a 1985 quarter be rare? Here's the secret. The Denver Mint struck millions that year, yes, but nearly all were heavily circulated, worn down, and forgotten. The Mint's quality control varied, and only a small number came out with perfectly clean strikes and that delicate balance of detail and composition that collectors crave. Add to that the fact that most were spent and lost to wear, and what you have today is a tiny handful of survivors that still hold that original mint brilliance beneath their antique toning. And the few that remain in very fine condition with natural patina and untouched surfaces are now commanding massive attention from serious collectors across the country. They call this type of coin a ghost rarity because it hides among billions of common quarters, nearly invisible until someone sharp enough sees the truth. The moment that stuns everyone. Now here's the part that will make your heart skip a beat. The current market value of a 1985 Washington quarter dollar with D-mint mark, in gray shade and very fine condition, is an astonishing $85,000. Yes, $85,000. For a coin that might have once sat in a vending machine, jingled in a purse, or passed through the hands of a million ordinary Americans. And that's not hype, that's today's market. Collectors and investors are obsessed with these transitional late-century coins, especially those that display natural aging and authentic untouched beauty. The value keeps rising quietly, steadily, powerfully. And experts believe that within a few years, coins like this will become the next big wave in modern numismatics. Because the supply is shrinking and the demand is exploding. The Denver mark of distinction. The small but powerful D Mint mark on this coin represents the Denver Mint, one of America's most respected production centers. The Denver coins are known for their sharper detail and slightly deeper relief than their Philadelphia counterparts, and that distinction makes them particularly desirable. When preserved like this, the 1985 D is a masterpiece of subtle contrasts. Gray on silver tone, shadow over luster, age against precision. It looks ancient yet modern, familiar yet elusive. Every serious collector wants one, not just for its rarity, but because it represents a bridge between eras. A time when craftsmanship still mattered, and when modern coins began to take on collectible power. If you find a 1985 D quarter with that gray, smoky hue and light surface dirt, stop immediately. Do not clean it. Natural tone is your treasure. Cleaning strips away decades of natural character and can destroy thousands of dollars in value. Instead, store it in a dry, protected sleeve and have it graded by a professional. Certification can multiply its worth instantly, and once authenticated, this coin becomes a piece of numismatic art, a collectible that will only appreciate over time. Remember, condition is everything, and very fine is the sweet spot where beauty and authenticity meet. The legacy of the 1985 D quarter. This coin is a reminder that greatness doesn't always come from age, sometimes it comes from endurance. Think about it, this coin has lived through decades of American history. It's seen the rise of the internet, the birth of modern technology, and countless hands of hardworking Americans. Yet it survived beautifully, gracefully, and full of quiet power. It's not flashy. It's not perfect. But it is real, and it is worth more than almost anyone would ever believe. This is the magic of the 1985 D. Washington quarter, a gray shaded survivor that holds within it the story of an entire generation. So next time you sort through your quarters, take a second look. That one coin with the soft gray tone and faint touch of dirt might not just be spare change, it might be your $85,000 fortune in disguise. And don't forget, we at US Coin Worth Secrets bring you fresh updates every single day. Real stories, real values, and real treasures hiding right under your nose. Stay tuned because coin number 19 is coming next, and trust me, it's one of the most jaw-dropping coins in this entire countdown. There are coins that whisper history, and then there are coins that roar it. The next coin on our list, the 1971 Washington quarter with a D-mint mark, looks like a simple piece of change at first glance. But make no mistake, this coin hides a secret that's turning ordinary collectors into treasure hunters overnight. The turning point of American coinage. A year that changed the face of American currency forever. The silver era was long gone, and the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to copper-nickel-clad coinage. For most people, quarters of this era seemed common, even forgettable. But deep in the roaring halls of the Denver Mint, as presses thundered and molten metal poured into planchettes, a few coins were struck under nearly perfect conditions with a precision and finish that would later astonish experts. These were the 1971 D. Washington quarters, rare, resilient, and destined to become hidden legends of the modern coinage era. The face that time couldn't fade. The 1971 D quarter in very fine condition still carries an undeniable presence. George Washington's portrait gleams with depth and clarity, his eyes sharp, his hair finely detailed, and the rim bold and crisp. On the reverse, the majestic eagle spreads its wings in a stance of power and pride, still holding its strength after more than half a century. But what really sets this coin apart is its vibrant metallic tone, a perfect balance between natural aging and subtle brilliance. It doesn't shine like the new coin. Instead, it glows softly, like something meant to endure. The D mint mark beneath "In God We Trust" tells you where it came from: Denver, a mint known for producing coins with deep strikes and superior craftsmanship. Why it is so rare and so desired? Here's where things get truly fascinating. While millions of 1971 quarters were minted, almost all were heavily circulated. Very few survived in exceptional condition, untouched, unbent, and rich with natural toning. But the rarity doesn't stop there. During the early 1970s, the U.S. Mint faced subtle shifts in composition, die alignment, and pressure calibration, all of which affected the coin's finish. This means that a small percentage of the 1971 D quarters came out with unique die characteristics: slightly sharper lettering, stronger details in Washington's curls, and deeper lines on the eagle's wings. And those are the coins collectors go wild for. They're the hidden gems of modern coinage, not because they're old, but because they're impossibly well-preserved examples from a time when most coins were forgotten or worn beyond recognition. The market shockwave. Now here's where the story turns extraordinary. In the past decade, coin investors and collectors have begun revisiting the 1970s mint years, and what they have found has changed the game. When rare high-grade 1971 D quarters started surfacing in private collections, their prices skyrocketed. Auction houses reported bidding wars as numismatists raced to secure even one fine condition specimen. And today the results are jaw-dropping. The current market value of a 1971 Washington quarter dollar with D mint mark in very fine condition has soared to an unbelievable $95,000. Yes, you heard that right. A simple-looking 1971 D quarter, once worth 25 cents, now valued at nearly $95,000. It's a number that shakes even veteran collectors. And this isn't speculation, it's the pulse of the current market. Prices continue to climb sharply as awareness spreads and high-grade examples disappear into private collections. Experts agree this coin is no longer just a collectible, it's an investment-grade treasure, one that could multiply in value as time goes on. The D that defines destiny. Let's talk about that D. It's not just a letter, it's a badge of distinction. It represents the Denver Mint's precision, a mark of authenticity that gives this coin its proud identity. Collectors often say, if it is a Denver strike, expect depth, expect power. And the 1971 D quarter proves that perfectly. It's sharp, balanced, and radiates confidence. Every contour, every rim line, every feather stroke tells a story of craftsmanship that was ahead of its time. This is the kind of detail that modern minting machines rarely replicate: the soul of the press operator, the human touch of 20th century mint artistry. Collector's tip. If you come across a 1971 D Washington quarter, take your time, don't rush past it. Look for strong strike details on Washington's hair and the eagle's wings, full clean lettering around the rim, no visible mint damage or deep scratches, that unmistakable vintage glow of natural wear and time. If it is in very fine condition, you could be staring at one of the rarest hidden treasures of modern coinage. And as always, resist the urge to clean or polish it. That soft metallic tone and light circulation marks are part of its story, and collectors pay premium for untouched originality. The spirit of 1971 lives on. Think about this. This coin was struck during a defining moment in American history, a time of rebuilding, innovation, and change. Every mark, every shade, every groove on this coin holds the memory of that era. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a fragment of living history, a silent witness to a nation in motion. The fact that it survived in such remarkable condition is nothing short of miraculous. This is the 1971 D Washington quarter dollar, and it's not just rare, it's legendary. The treasure in your pocket. So, the next time you go through your change jar, pause for a moment. That old 1971 quarter might be more than just pocket change. It could be a $95,000 fortune waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. Coins like these remind us that history hides in plain sight, and sometimes all it takes is one careful look to uncover a treasure beyond imagination. And remember, this is U.S. Coinworth Secrets, where every day brings you fresh discoveries, real stories, and unbelievable finds from America's hidden coin world. Stay tuned because coin number 20 is next. And trust me, it's one you'll remember forever. They say time destroys everything, but sometimes time does the opposite. It creates legends. Our final coin tonight, the 1978 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, is not polished, not pristine, not shiny. In fact, its face is marked with dark blackish stains, its surface worn with age. But that right there is what makes it one of the most electrifyingly rare and sought-after treasures in modern U.S. Coin history. The hidden rarity of 1978. 1978, America was roaring into a new age. The country was in the final stretch of the 1970s, a decade of grit, pride, and transformation. At the Denver Mint, millions of quarters rolled off the presses. Most were destined for grocery counters, laundromats, and parking meters, everyday life. But among those billions of strikes, a few were different. A few came out perfectly aligned, precisely detailed, and destined to survive where others would fade. The 1978 D Washington quarter in very fine condition isn't common. It's a needle in a haystack, and for collectors who know what to look for, it's the kind of discovery that sends chills down your spine. A coin worn by time and made more beautiful because of it. Take a close look at this masterpiece. Washington's face, partially shadowed by blackish stains, the marks of decades gone by, tells a story of endurance. Those stains aren't imperfections. They're history's fingerprints. They give this coin an almost mysterious aura, like a relic pulled from the past, carrying whispers of every hand it's passed through. Under the right light, that dark surface takes on a warm, aged glow, not damaged, but dignified. The rim is sharp, the letters clean, and the eagle on the reverse still fierce and proud. This is what collectors crave: authenticity, character, and truth. And this coin has all three in every single curve and shadow. Why it is so incredibly rare? You might think a 1978 D quarter is common. Millions are made, right? Yes, but almost none survive like this. Most were circulated into extinction, their designs erased by time. The few that did survive usually have heavy wear, corrosion, or polishing damage. But a 1978 D quarter with natural blackish toning, original surface texture, and very fine detail, that's the kind of coin that turns heads at major auctions. Collectors call these battle-born survivors. They have lived full lives, endured every scrape of circulation, yet somehow, miraculously, remained intact and powerful. And it's that contradiction, worn yet strong, dark yet radiant, that makes this coin a true numismatic marvel. The market's jaw-drop in value. Now for the part everyone has been waiting for. The current market value of a 1978 Washington quarter dollar with D mint mark, in very fine condition with blackish antique stains, stands at an extraordinary $85,000. That's not rumor, that's reality. Collectors across the country are bidding fiercely for pieces like this, pushing prices higher every single month. What makes this even more thrilling is that experts predict this value will continue to climb as pristine and original examples become rarer and rarer. This isn't a fad. This is the new frontier of modern American coin collecting. What you're holding in your hand isn't just a coin. It's a treasure of American legacy, a six-figure artifact of history, and a symbol of how greatness often hides in plain sight. The collector's insight. If you find a 1978 D Washington quarter, here's your key. Look for those natural blackish stains, the patina of time. Look for strength in the details, the lines on Washington's neck, the feathers on the eagle, the clear edges of United States of America. And if it is in very fine condition, do not touch it, do not clean it. That dark tone is your fortune's glow. Store it safely and have it graded by a trusted professional. Because once certified, this coin's story becomes undeniable and its value unstoppable. The legacy of the 1978 D quarter. This coin isn't beautiful despite its flaws. It's beautiful because of them. It carries the soul of America, strong, weathered, and proud. It's proof that what looks ordinary to one person can be priceless to another who sees its truth. From vending machines to vaults, from everyday life to numismatic legend, this 1978 D quarter has made the ultimate journey. And now it stands as one of the top 20 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarters in existence. A coin once worth 25 cents, now worth $85,000 and rising. 20 coins. 20 hidden fortunes. 20 stories that prove one truth: history still hides in your hands. The Washington quarters we've uncovered tonight aren't just metal, they're messages from America's past. From the shining silver of 1940s masterpieces to the shadowed survivors of the 1970s, these coins tell the story of a nation bold, enduring, and full of secrets. So before you spend that next quarter, stop. Look closer. Because your next coin might not be worth 25 cents, it might be worth a life-changing fortune. Money. This is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, your daily doorway into the world of hidden treasures and unbelievable finds. Subscribe now because the next video might just reveal the coin sitting in your pocket right now.